Have you ever felt that we always take lightly software testing over the development, despite it being one of the most critical component of any project? Without testing, a software can create financial loss, reputational damage, security breaches, legal compliance issues, operational disruption, last but not the least, loss of human life leading to customer dissatisfaction. I will share a story from my past that really demonstrates how easily it gets ignored and impact is enormous. A global insurance client policy information gets mapped to the customers from the source system to Dynamics 365 through multiple channels. But during testing, one channel testing missed. As a result, a huge bunch of policies get scrambled with different customer information leading to major fix, with making system down leading to financial loss to the organization. Fixing the impact of testing was worth millions or billions. Sometimes it's irreversible. Few other well-known impacts of software testing: Boeing 737 MAX crashes around 2018 to 2019. A link to faulty software led to global ground and $20 billion in fines and lawsuits. The Iran 5 rocket explosion in 1996 cost the European Space Agency $370 million due to a software bug in its guidance system. Testing is not just about finding bugs, it's about preventing disaster. Testing is a critical part of the software development lifecycle SDLC, helping ensure reliability, performance, and user satisfaction. A robust testing strategy ensures reliability, safety, and trust in your software. Features, skills, even AI cannot save you if your end you just don't trust the organization, leading financial loss and reputational damage. In the next few minutes, I will share with you the most important things to consider with testing, the most common testing mistakes, and how to avoid them. And finally, the most important tools you will have to use and you want to use for successful test strategy. So let's start with the first question. What are the top things to consider with software testing? First, verification. Checking if the software was built correctly. Second is validation. Ensuring the software fulfills its intended purpose. Third is a bug detection. Identifying and resolving errors before release. There are different types of testings. So, based on testing approaches, it can be black box or it can be white box. Based on execution methods, it can be manual or automated. Based on testing labels, it can be unit testing, then integration testing, then system testing, then acceptance testing. Then, based on specialized testing, it can be performance, regression, and security testing. Based on agile workflow integration, testing embedded in sprints. Key questions to set your testing plan. What type of software are you building? Web app, mobile app, desktop app, embedded system, API, etc. Second, how big is your team and who handles testing? Dedicated QA engineers, developers who test, or a mix? What development methodology are you using? Agile, waterfall, DevOps, or something hybrid? Fourth, how often do you release updates? Weekly sprints, monthly releases, or continuous deployments? What are your top priorities? Speed, security, usability, compliance, scalability. Do you have access to any testing tools like Selenium, JMeter, Postman, OWASP, Zap, etc.? Last but not least, tips for success. Use version control hooks to trigger automated testing. Maintain a test case repository for reuse and traceability. Prioritize security and performance if your app handles sensitive data or high traffic. Start small with tools like Postman and Selenium, then scale to CI/CD with Azure DevOps, Jenkins, or GitHub Actions. Next, let's talk about 4 key mistakes with software testing. One is requirements and planning mistakes. Under that, first is unclear or incomplete requirements. Testing without well-defined requirements leads to confusion and missed validations. What is the fix of that? Collaborate with stakeholders to document and review requirements before testing begins. Next is lack of a comprehensive test plan, skipping planning results in inefficient testing, and missed defects. Fix of that is create a test plan outlining objectives, scopes, resources, and timelines. Next is ignoring risk-based prioritization. Treating all test cases equally can waste time. Fix of that is focus on high-risk areas first to maximize impact. Second is execution mistakes. Under execution mistakes, testing only obvious scenarios. This overlooks edge cases and complex user flows. Fix of that is include negative, boundary, and exploratory tests. Over reliance on manual testing. Manual only approaches are slow and error prone. Fix of that is automate repetitive tests where feasible to improve speed and consistency. Next is skipping regression testings. New features always can break existing ones. To fix that, always run regression tests after updates. Third is process and communication mistakes. Under that, poor collaboration between QA and development teams. Miscommunication leads to delay and mismatched expectations. Fix of that is foster regular syncs and shared tools between teams. Next is testing too late in the development cycle. Late testing increases cost and complexity of fixes. Fix of that is SIP lab. Start testing early and continuously. Next is ignoring test environment setup. Inconsistent environments can cause flaky tests. Fix of that is standardize and monitor test environments closely. Fourth is reporting and analysis mistakes. VAT bug reports, incomplete reports slow down bugging. Fix of that is include steps to reproduce screenshots, logs, and severity labels. Next is not learning from the past effects. Repeating the same mistakes wastes effort. Fix of that is always conduct root cause analysis and update test cases accordingly. Now let's talk about the top tools for software testing. It's layered, tools, and the purpose. Source and CI layer. Azure DevOps repos and GitHub's used. Purposes, source control, and pipeline triggers. The next is build and static analysis. Tools used, Power Platform build tool, solution checker. Purpose is pack solution and run solution checker gets. Next is unit or plugin tests. tools can be used: X units, N units, fake, XRM easy. Purpose is fast in-memory plugins and business logic unit tests. Next is API and integration tests. Tools Postman and API, .NET integration test like Dataverse SDK, Web API contracts, and integration validation. UI, end-to-end smoke. Easy Repro can be used, Playwright can be used. Critical purpose is critical user journey verification, performance, Azure load testing. Case 6 throughput and latency validation, again Dataverse endpoint security and accessibility. AWS WSApp, accessibility insights, Xcore API, web security scans, and A11 by checks. Purpose is test management and reporting. Azure DevOps test plans, test trails, and purpose is test traceability and reporting. Finally, you can see on screen my testing checklists. Feel free to share this with your friends and peers to spread the testing love. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Mission Implementation, exploring how to achieve a successful testing. I have spent 16 years as a senior architect of a company working with Dynamics 365 on Power Platform on hundreds of projects. And because testing kept getting sidelined, I had to go deep and train my consultants and customers teams to do it right. My LinkedIn is always open for private messages. I frequently discuss dynamics, delivery issues, and building new delivery teams. I encourage you to reach out on LinkedIn. Just search for Goloknath Mishra. If you need more templates or information on all these topics. If you want some guidance about best practices for the other stages of implementation, check out the rest of the mission implementation playlists.